Specialized dual slalom Cairns time. We call this the fastest dual slalom track on the circuit, and if you ever wondered what it looked like to be aboard one of these bikes, this looks less like a dual slalom track and more like what it feels like to be in a blender. Look at how fast and action-packed this course is, Alan.
Like a factory 450 accelerating through a supercross track right here. So much speed sustained from top to bottom. The fastest track by far, comes down and gets super technical at the bottom with flat, slick turns.
Well, this is our final broadcast of the festival. This festival, which is the second stop of the 2025 Crankworx World Tour, and we've been packing it all in. Today has been an eventful day already. We started things out this morning with the slopestyle competition, and now the final event here where so many points are up for grabs for both the King and Queen of Crankworx overall standings, but also the dual slalom series as well.
Yeah, dual slalom series, 5 events long. It's going to be awesome here to see these riders come together. A couple people in the standings not here today, but you know, the course is looking unbelievable. The Flux crew has done their touch on this thing. Man, it's going to be rapid from top to bottom.
One rider in the men's field who was absent from Rotorua, New Zealand, but he's back here now today in Cairns, the 2021 and 2022 King of Crankworx, Bas van Steenbergen, a guy who in his quest for those King titles picked up a lot of points in dual slalom races. This is his #1 event. Look for Bas van Steenbergen. He is also the #5 qualifier. Speaking of kings, how about the reigning King of Crankworx from the 2024 season? A guy who is #1 qualifier out here today for Specialized Dual Slalom, but also a guy who surprisingly hasn't taken a win yet this weekend.
Yeah, Ryan Gilchrist is going to be looking to really finish off on a strong foot here. Looking at the dual slalom standings, he is on top, but we see his head go down as soon as he doesn't win the race. So he's gonna be looking to get a gold medal here. This is his last chance. This is his home country. He's got friends, he's got family here. He's gonna do what he can to make it happen.
He is so competitive. We obviously saw him last year in his quest for the crown, and we're seeing him this year just backed up against a corner. He definitely has a very busy schedule of racing, but you know he wants to leave this event here in Cairns with a gold medal. This is the last opportunity to do so. Somebody who's taking home a ton of hardware from this event is Sabina Kosarkova. She's had an eventful weekend.
Yeah, she's had an amazing weekend, really starting to find her form as that Crankworx specialist. Coming in, racing mountain bikes for the first time in the Crankworx series, really committing, showing up to Rotorua, came out to Cairns, and just really started knocking off the wins. Right here against Caroline last night in the pump track, she was able to squeeze out her second gold medal of the night.
So big deal anytime you see somebody knocking out a 2-time Queen of Crankworx. Caroline Buchanan, of course, earned those crowns in 2022 and 2023. We have them both racing out here in slalom as well. Caroline Buchanan coming off the heels of a big win in dual slalom in Rotorua as well.
Yeah, not only with that momentum, she is our fastest qualifier here with none other than Sabina in second place. So they are going to match up hopefully in the end and be going for gold, but they got to get through a lot of some of the best riders in the world to get there.
We were talking to Sabina in some of those interviews last night when she won the pump track, and she said she's always looked up to Caroline Buchanan. And we've seen so many riders come from BMX and find success on the Crankworx World Tour, a lot of times in pump track. It sometimes takes them longer to find their footing in dual slalom, though. This is one of the events where time on the mountain bike really pays off, isn't it?
Yeah, the little bit bigger wheels definitely changes the way the steering feels. The speeds are a lot higher in some of these technical turns. Not used to having to go around flags. Yes, you have 7 other racers with you in BMX, but the difference and the technicalities here on the hill in Cairns are going to push her to her limits.
Well, don't forget about Jordy Scott. She's sitting second in those standings right now, and she's the 5th qualifier here today. We will see her in our round of 8 matchup. So look at this. We've been offering the King and Queen of Crankworx title ever since 2016, but we just have 4 riders who have won that title. So it is incredibly prestigious. We do have Martha Gill out here. It sounds like she may not be racing though. She did qualify for this round of 8, but I think we're going to be having Caroline Buchanan take a bye round. So Martha finding a little bit of challenge this season, as well as Gilly having a hard time kind of picking up where they left off from the 2024 season. It's not easy to be the king or the queen of Crankworx.
No, not at all, and that's really showing. We're now a bit officially over the halfway point as we come to the end here in Cairns. And yeah, both Gilly and Martha Gill, I wouldn't say they're struggling, but they're just not hitting their stride as we know that they can and how they did to get those titles.
A lot of riders competing for that title out there, but we want you to compete with each other as well, you viewers at home. We have partnered up with Darko Clothing, and we have a giveaway. This giveaway consists of an ultraviolet jersey, some gloves, and some pads that aren't even released yet. They've got some gravity knee pads and a short sleeve body armor that doesn't come out until June 18th. But if you play our little game, you will be entered for the chance of winning this pack of Darko gear right here. What you need to do is go and follow at Crankworx on Instagram. Go follow at Darko Clothing on Instagram. Find the post that shows pictures of these items that we're going to give away, like that post, and then tag one of your riding buddies in the comment section. We will pick somebody who jumps through all of our hoops, and we will mail this whole bag of goodies right out to you. We've been giving them away every single broadcast, so this will be the 5th bag of goodies we will send out. Big thanks to Darko for partnering with us. We've been trying to involve you in our fun out here as much as possible, so we've been doing these polls every broadcast as well. And we're gonna pick up and do the same thing here in the dual slalom broadcast. The first question is, what's the toughest part of dual slalom racing? Comment 1 if you think switching lanes and still performing is the hardest part. Comment 2 if you think handling the pressure is the hardest part. Definitely the pressure increases as you work your way into those final rounds. Or comment 3 if you think the flat corner speed is the hardest part. Not as many flat corners on this course though, are there?
Yeah, not in numbers, but where they are is down at the bottom of the course. And if you look at the last few years here, it really came down to those flat corners. So if it was me and I was a betting man, I would definitely say number 3, the flat corner speed, because all of that momentum generated through the course all the way to the bottom gets just built up like a pressure cooker down at the bottom, and there's no traction. They got to slow down in order to get to the finish, so it's who can slow down to go fastest.
All berms at the top, building up your confidence, and then giving you those flat corners at the bottom. It's going to be classic dual slalom racing here at the Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns. It starts right now.
So bad, it's a party round here. All I see is gold, get us through my cardies round here. Always on top for the money, never tardy round here. Now I'm on top and they love me, keep some shawties round here. And we go pop us some bubbly, cause we going high, yeah.
Yo, Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns, the weather has been cooperating with us all week, which is incredible. We can get a lot of rain out here, which can be good for the dirt if it decides to sprinkle the right amount at the right times, and that's what we have encountered. Also, the wind, it was present during slopestyle, but it played nice as well, giving the riders some intermittent lulls to be able to time their drops. This is the second stop of the 2025 World Tour, which consists of 3 World Tour stops and a couple Summer Series stops. We had our first World Tour stop in Rotorua, New Zealand 2 months ago. We're here in far north Queensland, beautiful home of the Great Barrier Reef, Cairns, Australia. And then we'll finish things off in BC, a Summer Series stop at Silver Star Resort, and then we'll cap off the season where it all began back in 2004 in Whistler, British Columbia. We're picking up racing action for both the men and the women in the round of 8, which we refer to as the quarterfinals. Here's a look at the quarterfinal matchups for the men. We will be picking up with the women, though, with Caroline Buchanan being that #1 qualifier, and we always talk about the collision course of the #1 qualifier and the #2 qualifier. If they stay in it all the way to the gold medal matchup, both of them, they will find themselves head-to-head duking it out for glory. Caroline Buchanan and Sabina Kasarkova will be the riders who are on that collision course for the women. You see Caroline Buchanan already advancing into the semifinals. As we mentioned before, Martha Gill withdrawing from the competition. So Sabina will have to earn her way into the semifinals where Caroline Buchanan kind of scored. That's something that can happen here in dual slalom where you get lucky.
Yeah, every once in a while there's going to be that injured rider or mechanical that could cause a bye round. But definitely lots of racing for Caroline to do.
So this will be Jordy Scott versus Turkovic. Jordy Scott.
Last night's bronze medalist.
Last night's bronze medalist in pump track. Also last year's gold medalist here in specialized dual slalom Cairns. The defending champion. Also the number 5 qualifier out here. Going up against Eleni Turkovic, who is the number 4 qualifier. So expected tight matchup out of these two.
Ready, watch the gate.
Solid gate right there out of both riders. Looks like Jordy Scott gets the whole shot. Able to extend right there, a couple of bike links as they go through those on-offs in the rhythm. Coming out of those shark fins into these S-turns. So much speed right here into these bottom turns. Gotta watch out for the serpent. Try to bite you right there as they enter in the flat turns. Jordy Scott able to extend her lead. It's gonna be a 1.107 advantage for her going into the next round.
Yeah, Jordy Scott, the defending champion, looking real strong out here. Sizable advantage of 1.1 goes to Jordy.
This is what Jordy does. 5th place qualifier, but looking really strong.
Next, he loaded into the gate. Sasha Mills, Cassie Voicey. Sasha Mills, number 3 qualifier. She had a good showing in full tilt yesterday. Number 4 finisher there, just off of the podium.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Gate comes down on the number 3 and number 6 qualifiers, both looking dead even. Coming over those first obstacles, Sasha Mills gaining a slight advantage, but then Cassie Voicey coming right back, and this is where things start to get dicey as they come in and out of these S-turns. The advantages change, and then they even up right at the climax of the course right here. They're gonna come into these flat turns, and who can hold on to it? This is where bike choice is gonna make a big difference.
Ooh, Cassie through the line first, but by 0.027, blink of an eye differential between these two.
A little bit softer feel of the suspension bikes, allowing for a little more traction.
I really like this first section where you have to actually transfer in the middle of the gap to be able to make it around to the appropriate side of that gate. Creative course design, I like it.
Yeah, definitely the course is pushing these riders to their limits.
As speeds increase through the later rounds, we're gonna see some style required to be able to transfer the bike in the air around those gates.
Sasha Mills on the more trail bike. She's gonna have a little more traction, that softer feel with the front and rear suspension, where Cassie Voicey is on the more traditional DJ bike.
I would go for the full suspension. What would you choose?
I would go for the full suspension, but you notice the tire difference there. A lot bigger, more aggressive knobbies there on Cassie Voicey's bike to kind of make up for that lack of suspension and traction. So it's interesting which way it could go. I guess we'll see when the next rounds are done.
Sabina has been doing pretty darn well so far this weekend. We asked her how she thought she would do here in dual slalom. Here's what she had to say.
So racing all the disciplines, it was pretty fun and I really enjoy it. New discipline full tilt, I won, pump track I won, so hopefully I'll try my best today and we'll see how it'll go.
So far so good with that number 2 next to her name. The number 2 qualifier behind Caroline Buchanan. I like to talk about these two as well. It's really interesting. In an interview, Sabina had mentioned she looked up to Caroline Buchanan a ton in Caroline's BMX days, and they found themselves head-to-head in the gold medal matchup last night in pump track. We interviewed Caroline, and she, we had to ask her what she thought about Sabina. She said, I think she'll be a future queen of Crankworx. Obviously a few things to dip her toes into in order to get there, more downhill experience, but dual slalom is definitely the next step here, these flat corners, something you don't get experience with from BMX.
Yeah, if anybody knew who to look out for, it would be Caroline Buchanan, probably the most versatile bike rider on the planet.
We saw her gold medal run from pump track last night. Let's take a look at how she won the gold in the first ever Crankworx Full Tilt, which is a 3-person race. Explain this race, Alan. We've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, it's a 3-on-3 competition right here. As they come through the brackets, it's the first 2 riders will qualify and move on, but then the winners of the semis go into the gold medal matchup, which is what we're watching right here. Jordy Scott there in 2nd place.
Super creative course design, and if you're wondering, well, what's the difference? There's just 1 extra rider. Big difference here in dual slalom, there's 2 designated courses. There's no crossover, and it's a timed event. Basically, fastest combined time across the 2 runs. Each rider taking a run on each course, and that's how you eliminate and move into the next round. But with full tilt, it's more similar to BMX. You've got to be able to throw your elbows out and be willing to protect your line and potentially pass if given the opportunity.
And that's what made it so cool yesterday, watching that first ever full tilt competition, was riders trying to occupy the same space at the same time, going into rock gardens. It was so exciting.
And it's funny too, because recreationally speaking, on mountain bike trail rides, you're not typically trying to pass people. I know you shake your head because you do, but you're an outlier. But it's usually, you know, a train. You're following your friend, and you decide at the bottom who's going to lead the next lap. But it's a skill set that is the main name of the game in BMX. So pretty interesting timing to have Crankworx unveiling that event format as Sabina Kosarkova is cutting her teeth on a mountain bike through the Crankworx World Tour festivals. What's the toughest part of dual slalom racing? We have our results trickling in here. Handguards.
Interesting choice.
I think they look cool.
Maybe there was an expectation for like 90s style slalom poles.
What is going to be like ski moguls? No ski slalom where you're supposed to like slam it with your ski pole.
Inside line, slam it.
Ready, watch the gate.
Sabina Kosarkova, number 2 qualifier, going up against Connor Mielke, the number 7 qualifier out of Australia. Hometown crowd going to be cheering, home country crowd, I should say.
Sabina getting a solid gait, showing her BMX skills. Perfect execution, snapping out of that UCI World Cup BMX cadence that we have here on the course. Just stand smooth right here.
Let's see how she is in the flat corners.
Anything can happen down there.
And we see that right there, the advantage going to Sabina Kosarkova of 1.5. That's the maximum differential you can have. So even if the rider who crosses the finish line last has an issue and crashes and gets back up, 1.5 is the maximum they will have to make up once they get to the top of the course and switch sides. We will be keeping track of the fastest times of the day. We'll be showing you there on that graphic on the left side of your screen. Sabina Kosarkova posting the fastest time of the day right there, 24.468. 1 step ahead of the fastest time for Caroline Buchanan. Impressive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what the name of this game is, building as you go. Every run needs to be faster than the other. Looking at this bracket, the usual suspects.
You've got Jordy Scott with the advantage over Eleni Turkovic. Cassie Voicey with just 0.027 of an advantage ahead of Mills. And then Sabina Kosarkova, we just saw her lay the 1.5 down on Mielke. So we will get them back to the top of the course, switch sides, and see who will advance into the semifinals. Now it's time to do the same old thing with the men's field. We are picking up the action in the round of 8 for the men, but let's see how those riders earn their spot into this round of 8 matchup. Here's some highlights from round of 16, Alan.
Yeah, we're watching this round of 16. Gilly looking absolutely lightning fast. So relaxed, so smooth. We know what it means to him to be competing here in his home country. And right there, Baz, so stoked to have him back. If there was anybody out there that you could say is a slalom specialist, I say you might put Baz's name on the top of that list. And then the new face, sorry, not the new face, Tegan Cruz, absolutely ripping out of the snake turns at the bottom. Niels Bensink also had a really good night last night in the pump track. He's going to be looking to close off today's Crankworx with a solid result. Sam Blankensop, another former King of Crankworx in 2018, just edging out.
Looks like Bailey has
Duke Millington able to get that win, move on.
I'm looking at these quarterfinals matchups for the men. I see the first heat that we're going to see, the #1 qualifier, Ryan Gilchrist, going up against Josh Jolly. What can you tell us about Josh Jolly for maybe some of the viewers who haven't watched the event so far this weekend?
I mean, he has had an unbelievable weekend out here. He's won the whip-off. He's won the full tilt. He's got a silver medal in the pump track, and he's out here on the slalom. The #2 qualifier, or sorry, #8 qualifier going up against the #1 qualifier. He's gonna have to lay it all down. If anybody can ruin Gilly's day, it's him.
It's a dreamy scenario right there. If you like good action in dual slalom, #1 qualifier going up against the up-and-coming talent. This is a dreamy dual slalom course. What do you say? You ever watch YouTube TV and they just do that moment of zen?
Yeah.
Let's just zen out on this beautiful course right now. You down?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna drink water while we zen out on this course.
Right.
Gotta Wolf. Hats off to all the workers making the tracks 5-star.
I feel so good, Cam.
Couldn't agree more. I know, I just feel better now.
Like, centered.
That's just like a ceremony every mountain biker should practice right there. Stare at trails and say, ah. All right, enough of that BS. Let's get back to racing right here. Ryan Gilchrist and Josh Jolly. First matchup we'll see as Heat 1 in our quarterfinals. Let's just shoot all the way down to the bottom and see who Mears, our #2 qualifier. Bailey Mears will be going up against the 2018 King of Crankworx, Sam Blanketop, a rider you can never count out. Jackson Frew and Niels Bensink, and then Bas van Steenbergen, great to have him back. The battle of the Canadians right there in Heat #2. Bas van Steenbergen versus Tegan Cruz. 5th and 4th qualifiers. Should be close racing. Wow, Josh Jolly has the opportunity to be the disruptor out here, doesn't he? Gilchrist has to want a win so bad. He became so accustomed to winning last season. He's the defending champ for Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns from last year. A lot of pressure on Gilly and Josh Jolly with nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, I couldn't really pick a winner out of this one. It's really anybody's game. It's gonna be really up to this first couple of sections here. See how much power they can get out of those first rollers. It's really where Gilchrist has his advantage. So explosive on the bike.
Oh man, this is gonna be good. Gotta remember, Josh Jolly is a junior BMX world champion. No stranger to the gate start. Look at this, Gilly with the lead early on.
Yeah, so Gilly opting for that more explosive bike. This is where these riders and their machines are gonna come together at the bottom. Josh, the advantage is gonna go his way when we get into these flat turns, but Gilchrist just unbelievably strong through the upper section.
Jolly pushing himself to the limit in those flat corners. Can't wait to see another angle of that to see if he was able to stay on the appropriate side of that gate.
I'm seeing max differential, so I'm thinking maybe not.
Instant 1.5. It must have been pretty obvious that he missed the gate there. We're gonna get another look.
But he definitely hung his own on that trail bike in that first section. So strong out of the gate. As you mentioned, the junior world champion for BMX, so gate starts are not anything new for Josh.
I mean, winner of the whip-off earlier this week as well. I can't wait to see what the future holds. We're catching up with his dad earlier, said that this season's packed with BMX, but he's so young. Hopefully we see more of him on the Crankworx World Tour as well. Here we go, here's that missed gate, final straightaway, drifting. There it is, the last gate.
Look at the effort. I mean, that was pretty amazing.
Just to not crash there as well.
And he got around the one gate. That was amazing.
I bet he didn't even cross his finish line. That's how the timing system instantly gave him the 1.5. Well, he's laid it all out there for sure, and anything can happen in dual slalom racing. We saw something pretty crazy happened to Gilly in full tilt. Gilly was on a quest to win that. He was flawless every round, but he had a flat tire when it really counted, and that was what left the door open for Josh Jolly to take that win. So anything can happen once we get them back up to the top of the course. We've seen Bas van Steenbergen in a lot of high-pressure situations in the past. Of course, 2021 and 2022, that was definitely the case. We asked him if he's feeling the same, more or less pressure here this season, 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. It's way less pressure this year, which is pretty nice. It's cool going for the king overall and all that, but I don't know. We'll leave that up to the young guys.
Look at this. He's like, I'm going to take a deep breath and do what I do best, which is snap a gate and rip a dual slalom course. Right alongside him is Tegan Cruz, also from Canada. Tegan Cruz sitting 5th in the slalom standings right now, based off of that 5th place result from Rotorua. Strong showing in the downhill earlier on.
Riders ready.
6th in full tilt.
Baz so strong out of the gate, getting the whole shot straight into it, but Tegan Cruz keeping him honest. Watching some of the earlier rounds, Tegan was really strong down here in the bottom, just looking unbelievably fast. We see him pull a little bit of an advantage right there on Baz. Baz pulls right back alongside of him. How are they going to do through these flat turns? Tegan Cruz looking really good.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Did he get around it? He's looking back.
I didn't want to point it out, but that's what I was thinking as well.
He pointed out himself. He looked back.
Yep.
It's not on us.
Where was Bass on that gate? Man, those flat corners, like you said at the top of the show, Alan, there's not a lot of flat corners, but they are intense, and they're at the very bottom of the course where it counts the most.
Yeah, Tegan's got some magic in that middle and bottom section of this course. We can see right here, Baz does have the advantage, and Tegan starts to pull up alongside him through the on-off section.
Ooh, scrubbing that cannon log.
And getting a pedal.
Blanky style.
These bottom turns right here, he's so powerful and strong. You see him kind of going wide and increasing his speed around the turn, pumping it as if it was a roller in a pump track. Tegan clipping his pedal on there, he got around.
Ooh. Oh, look at this. If you're wondering what constitutes a missed gate, both wheels must be on the correct side of that gate. Can't be running straight over it if your wheels end up on the other side of the base of that pole. Making contact with it's no problem, as long as those tires are on the correct side. Tough to tell. What do you think?
I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but it looked like maybe by like a centimeter he was on the right side, the correct side.
Yeah, I think so. It was folded over, so he's like right over it.
The fact that it moves inwards off the front wheel and then the rear tire hits it again and it still kind of moves to that inward trajectory right there, that makes me think that he was on the correct side.
I think he's good. Where's Jimmy? Let's make eye contact with Jimmy. There he is, I see him. I'll tell you if I'm picking up on any body language. Oh, I see. It's like classic Roman Coliseum times. He just gives the thumbs down to the officials, keeping track of business down there in the timing tent. Jimmy gives it the thumbs down.
They must have been able to get closer to their screen.
Oh, Bass. Hey, buddy, what do you think, Bass? Yeah, we see this kid in the background here. Let me get my magnifying glass.
What interesting.
Fight him, Bass. Fight Jimmy. Ah, man. So if you miss a gate, we saw it happen earlier, and we talked about the maximum differential earlier. No matter what happens, as long as you cross the finish line, you can get a flat tire. It can take you 5 minutes to get down there, but the most you'll have to make up once you get to the top of the course and switch sides is 1.5 seconds. So if you miss a gate, the maximum differential of 1.5 will be applied, and in short, you got your work cut out for you in run number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back up at the top, Niels Bensink, number 4.
King points there on the left side of your screen. Gilly with a 212-point lead over Jackson Frew. See Jackson Frew gearing up right now in the gate against Niels Bensink. Jackson Frew, the number 3 qualifier. Niels Bensink, number 6 qualifier. Run number 1 in their quarterfinal matchup.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Jackson Frew rockets out of the gate. Niels Bensink pulls up right side next to him. Let's see what they can pull off. Jackson Frew so strong, specifically out here on this Cairns course. He's been racing it for a few years now and always a strong showing. Looking so composed and so relaxed. Absolutely perfect through the section. Wheeling and pedaling across the line. That was an unbelievable run from Jackson Frew right there.
Spotless for sure, and it all resulted in a .77 advantage ahead of Niels Bensink. Jackson Frew, the number 3 qualifier, sitting second in points for King of Crankworx. Issues in Rotorua for Frew, so it's exciting to see him looking very much on point out here. Second stop in Cairns. Sam Blankensop going Assegai with 27 PSI front tire. And the Maxxis Aggressor in the rear, 30 PSI. Got some fresh meats on there for race day here. Specialized dual slalom cans. Sam Blankensop, number 7 qualifier. Bailey Mears, here he is, number 2 qualifier.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Sam looking really strong out of the gate right there, but Bailey Mears just pumping those first 2 jumps to perfection. They're side by side through the on-off. Maybe a slight advantage for Bailey right there. Number 2 qualifier, so on paper he should be faster, but this is a former king right here. Look at him draw right next to him. Blankensop pulls alongside Bailey Mears, but across the flat shirts, can he do it?
Bailey Mears crosses the line first by just .041.
Sam Blankensop nailed that bottom section, was able to accelerate out of those flat turns across the line, keep it super tight.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to see run number 2 between these 2 riders here. Gilly with the max differential advantage over Josh Jolly from heat number 1. Jolly missing that final gate of the course. Tegan Cruz with that 1.5 over Bas van Steenberg in another missed gate scenario. We got 2 missed gates in the quarterfinals run number 1. Jackson Frew over Bensink and Bailey Mears over Blankensop. So a couple really tight matchups and a couple big 1.5 max differentials for us when we go to run number 2 in these quarterfinals.
Yeah, Sam Blankensop looking to be the upset maker for Bailey Mears right there, number 2 qualifier. He definitely wants to carry that momentum much further than the quarterfinals.
You know what I love? I love to see those clips we get of how the riders spend their time when they show up early to Cairns. Obviously the international airport super close to the venue here, and also very close proximity to a lot of the tourist attractions. You can get to the Great Barrier Reef real quick. You got bungee jumping that we can see right here. We've seen footage of river rafting, no shortage of the things you can do. Do you see that clip we had in slopestyle? The riders went deep sea fishing, pulled up a hammerhead shark.
Yeah, I'm not down with catching sharks. I'm scared of sharks, man.
Some creatures out here that you won't find anywhere else in the world. I had one of them land on my shoe in our production meeting earlier. I'm not sure what that creature was, but it did a great job disguising itself as a leaf. I thought that's what it was on my foot, and it started flying away. Tried to bring it into the booth with me to have like a nice little mascot, but it had other plans. Here's a look at the advantages after run number 1 of the women's quarterfinals. Caroline Buchanan had that bye round, advancing instantly into the semifinals, and now we'll pick things up in heat number 2, run number 2. Jordy Scott and Eleni Turkovic.
Jordy Scott so good at slow playing qualifying. and just coming in and dominating the brackets. We've seen her do it so many times.
Eleni Turkovic has to make up 1.107. Pretty even courses here, though, Alan.
Yeah, super even courses. 1.17, 1.107, sorry, is not a huge amount, but on a course like this where they're moving that fast, it could be a bike length or two. Jordy Scott with the hole shot right there, stretching out her lead, looking really smooth on the on-off boxes. Zigzagging through those turns, accelerating, using her BMX knowledge and ability. Oh, she goes a little wide right there, has to lock up the rear tire. Turkovic pulls up right alongside her. Jordy Scott drifting through those turns, so not a freebie for her right there, but able to hold on.
Jordy Scott will meet up with Caroline Buchanan in her semifinals matchup, and that will be a big heat right there, considering Jordy is just 18 points behind Sabina Kosarkova in the Queen standings.
Watch the recovery out of Jordy Scott down here towards the bottom. When we get out of here and start getting into those S turns, she gets a little out of control, but was able to recover.
Jordy, defending champion out here, Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns. You took the win last year. You were second in Rotorua to start this season. Is this one of your favorite courses on the World Tour circuit?
Yeah, it's a pretty fun one. It's running faster this year than it was last year. It's kind of like a game of who can stay in control, which I almost did in that run, so hopefully I can figure that out on the next few runs.
Have you taken a look at the brackets and seen who you're going to be going up against in the next round?
Yep, hopefully I'll switch things up from what happened last night against Caro, but I'm sure it's going to be a great race.
Well, you've got a ton of experience to tap into at this point. You're sitting 18 points behind Sabina in the Queen standings. Best of luck in this next round.
Thanks, guys.
As we get a look back up at the top of the course, it's going to be Sasha Mills, who was 4th place in the pump track last night, 4th place in full tilt earlier yesterday. She's running the Minion DHR2 as a front tire with 26 PSI. The Ardent Race in the rear with 29 PSI.
Looks like she's got that Ardent on the front now, so maybe pulling an audible from earlier in qualifying time, looking for every advantage she can get. That's gonna add some rolling resistance to that front wheel.
Cassie Voicey with the advantage, but it is micro, 0.027.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Yeah, almost no difference between these two riders. They're gonna have to be absolutely clean to be able to move on. Sasha Mills with the hole shot right there, but Cassie Voicey able to extend about a bike length. They're gonna come together right here as the courses get into the zigzags of the S turns, on-off box, dropping in. Here comes the flat turns. Who can maintain speed and traction and get to the finish line first?
Oh, 0.027 was the differential. Cassie Voicey crosses the finish line first, again, 2 runs in a row, and she knocks Sasha Mills out. Cassie Voicey into the semifinals.
0.07 between the 2 runs. Combined differential. So close.
Yeah, this one was a drag race. Sometimes we see dual slalom courses where there's just definitively a faster lane. Not out here in Cairns. Super even matchups here. It doesn't really matter because it's your combined score anyways, but it definitely plays into things when somebody gets the advantage and it's on the fast course.
Yeah, psychologically, if the rider is next to you and gets any advantage, whether it's superficial or not, it gets inside your head. So having these courses really, really even makes it the great race that it is.
Well, Sabina Kosarkova just needs a smooth run here. She's got a 1.5 advantage over Connor Mielke, which is the maximum differential.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Sabina's last run to the finish was the fastest of the day. She starts out with the hole shot right there. Doesn't look to be holding back whatsoever, increasing that speed. It's gonna be important for her to know what this course rides like at high speeds, much faster than she did in qualifying, because that's how these slalom races go. They build so much from beginning to end.
Sabina looking pretty cozy in those flat corners. We're always really looking at those flat corners with the magnifying glass when it's those BMX crossovers who are fresh into mountain biking, but man, is she ever finding her stride. Sabina Kosarkova will go up against Cassie Voicey in Heat 2 of the semifinal matchup, and then it'll be Caroline Buchanan and Jordy Scott with lots of Queen of Crankworx points implications on the line in that heat. That'll be a fun one. We talked to Jordy about it briefly there in the headset interview after she was able to advance. Sabina versus Voicey in heat number 2. So the stage is set for semifinals for the women. Let's do the same for the men here. Let's remind ourselves where we sit with these advantages. Gilly's got that 1.5 over Josh Jolly. Needs a smooth run here. No frills on this run needed from Ryan Gilchrist.
No, it's not free right here. He's gonna have to stay on his toes. Josh is gonna push him all the way to the finish. Nothing is for free out here on the Crankworx dual slalom course.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Gate comes down, both riders get a clean start. Josh with the hole shot right there, so Gilchrist is playing catch up already. Huge whip and scrub over that step up. Gilchrist using that pump track bike to his advantage, that custom carbon frame, just pumping and accelerating right there, extending his lead. This is where he's got to be careful not to override. Coming into these flat turns.
Smart.
Looking really, really smooth. Gilchrist checking the boxes right there. Jolly with the hole shot, but Gilchrist just too strong, gaining momentum and pulling out a lead over Josh Jolly. It looked like right there Jolly overjumped slightly on that scrub. He lost a little bit of momentum, and Gilchrist was gone.
Gilly, super consistent results out here. 2025 Crankworx Cairns, but I know you're looking for a win. If you get a win here in slalom, it would make it a three-peat, which I'm sure the thought has crossed your mind a little bit. How important is it for you to end this event out here on the top of the box? You've been so close in numerous occasions so far this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a consistent week, it's a good way to put it. I've been super happy with my riding, and yeah, just like having great performances day in, day out, and knowing that I can be there in the conversation in any race is definitely a good feeling. So coming in here with a fast bike, fast mind, and a fast team definitely helps in every way. Always a big part of the conversation, the reigning king of Crankworx, and I'm wondering who is going to be a part of the conversation alongside of you. We're about to find out here in this next run. Good luck moving forward, Gilly. Cheers, Cam. Who is it going to be? Gilly punches his ticket into the semifinals. Will it be Bas van Steenbergen, the 2021 and 22 King of Crankworx? Or will it be fellow Canadian Tegan Cruz? Bas van Steenbergen with an uphill battle on a downhill course here. After missing a gate in run number 1, has to make up that 1.5. All it would take is a little mistake from Tegan Cruz to open that door back up.
It's all about the top half of the track for Bas van Steenbergen right now. That's where his advantage is. Super strong out of the gate, gets that hole shot. Got about a wheel on Tegan Cruz right here. But this is where we've seen Tegan Cruz really accelerating down to the bottom of the course. Pedaling into these turns. Baz, slight advantage still. Is it going to be enough? And Tegan Cruz comes through those turns. Look at that acceleration right there, straight through to the finish.
Look at that, Tegan Cruz not waffling under the pressure. He holds his focus steely and advances into the next matchup where he will be side to side against the #1 qualifier, Ryan Gilchrist.
Do you see how dialed Tegan is in those last 5 turns?
Super dialed. Jackson Frew, Niels Bensink, a little bit tighter of a matchup here
.774 separating these two in favor of Jackson Frew, your number 3 qualifier. Jackson Frew sitting second in the points, 212 points behind Ryan Gilchrist.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Bensink with the hole shot. Jackson Frew's got to keep him in sight and accelerate through this bottom section in order to move on. Niels Bensink is going to push, nothing to lose right here. He's going to get everything he's got, no breaks into this bottom section. Let's see if he can hold. Who's going to get it?
It's .774 that's needed. Jackson Frew, strong performance right there. He will advance, punch his ticket into the semifinals.
Have you noticed when Jackson gets into those bottom flat turns, it's almost like an exhale, like he's just taking a breath, calming down, just barely moving the bike, sort of dancing around those bottom turns. He looks like he's in such control down there where there's no traction.
Jackson looking so strong out here today. Let's talk about downhill. You kicked off the festival grabbing the win a couple days ago. How good did that feel?
Oh, that was awesome. It's been so close for so many years, so to finally check that one off was awesome. That was a big goal achieved.
So good to see. What does that do for your confidence moving into an event where you've been super successful in the past, like this dual slalom race?
The confidence is really high, the legs and the lungs. Oh, struggling with the heat a bit today, so we'll see where we're at, but yeah, confidence is high, but just trying to keep the body there.
Good stuff. Steady the course. Keep doing what you're doing. We're looking forward to seeing who you'll be matching up with here, if it's going to be Mears or Blankensop. Get back up to the top of the course. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Blanky, I saw him back there warming up as we had those last couple heats loaded into the gate. A lot of intensity out of Blanky out here today. He's going to need it. Super tight matchup here, just .041. Bailey Mears, the number 2 qualifier, with the advantage over Sam Blankensop. Blankensop, the 2018 King of Crankworx. Not hard to find a vein here if you're looking to, you know, insert an IV bag into this guy's arm.
It's going to be down to this step up on the first section of this course for Sam Blankensop. He's got an unbelievable move. Let's see if he can pull it off where he gaps in, pedals. Yeah, last time he back tire manual wheelied all the way through and was able to accelerate. It's such a risky move. It didn't look like he was able to get it right there.
Oh, Blanky needs to make up .041.
He's letting it all hang out right here. He pulls right alongside.
Can he find something down here? He needed .41. He gets .043. Oh my, oh, Bailey Mears crossed the line first. I got excited. That was so tight, it was hard to tell who crossed the finish line first. I was just staring at that number.
Yeah, was that the same number that was the differential? That was crazy.
Yeah, it was .041 that Blanky needed to make up. But then Bailey put another .043 on him. So it's all about Bailey, but I'm hearing in my headset right now, we got to take a closer look at the gate. I'm not sure who. Blanky does more than anybody between the start and finish on a dual slalom course. Very active on the bike.
This is where Blankensop just sort of lets the plan go out the window and absolutely drops the hammer. Look at him double tire sliding around, pedaling in the air, on, off, just accelerating, back tire, double manual into those turns. How's he squeaking pedals in there into the flat section? Unreal.
Let's see, it sounds like they're looking at gates. I'm not sure which side they're looking at. Maybe for Bailey, huh? The back tire. Man, that was close. That's what .043 looks like. Hearing an update in my headset. We're all good on the gates. No missed gates there. So Bailey Mears knocks Sam Blankensop out of the competition. It advances into the semifinals. Bailey Mears will be going up against Jackson Frew. That'll be heat number 2. And of course, Ryan Gilchrist will be going up against Tegan Cruz. Gilly looking for that win. We talked to him on that interview.
Qualifiers 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. So the collision course continues.
All right, we've been allowing you to join the conversation throughout all of our broadcasts this week. What do you think? Which lane is looking faster? Alan and I were kind of discussing this topic a little bit. We think that they look pretty even. Comment red if you think red lane's hot, if that's the fast one. Comment number 2 if you think black's feeling dialed. And if you have no idea, you're like Alan and I, you think it's quite even. Comment 3. How do you answer our little poll here? Just type a number into the chat. Hit enter. Well, scoring on some great weather out here in Cairns. We've seen tons of footage of the riders showing up early. A lot of riders needing to get acclimated to the time zone, and you might as well enjoy your time while you're getting acclimated. So much to do here. Specialized dual slalom Cairns, a women's heat loaded up into the gate. We got Jordy Scott and Caroline Buchanan. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Jordy Scott. Ooh, look at this. We got some changes to the tires, perhaps? No, we got the front. We got the big meat in the front. Kind of higher tire pressure for Caroline. Big knobbies with higher tire pressure. Smart, you know, you get the traction with the tire choice, and you get the rolling resistance through your choice to pump that tire a little bit more firm than what we're seeing from a lot of the other competitors out here.
Yeah, definitely on that fully stiff Trek Ticket S. She's gonna want a little more traction in that front tire. Gate comes down. Caroline Buchanan with the hole shot, so Jordy Scott's gonna be playing catch up right here. Gapping in, looking really smooth for both riders. Oh, Caroline gets a little bit off rhythm right there through the on-off boxes, and Jordy Scott able to stretch out about a bike length and a half. Caroline now on the chase, pulling up alongside Jordy Scott as they come into the ever technical flat bottom turns. Caroline looking unbelievably strong right there. Able to accelerate where most have struggled. Might have been that front tire right there.
Look at that. That was the fastest time of the day. Despite that mistake as well. See her, listen in, just talk about it. I guess that basically just shows the level your #1 qualifier, Caroline Buchanan, is on. She can have a mistake and still post the fastest time of the day.
Now watch, ideally you want to stay on top of these boxes. She drops in right there and catches off rhythm and just goes straight into the second on-off box. Skipped it like she was on a motocross bike in a set of whoops. And right there she was in panic mode and was able to drop the hammer and actually get the fastest time of the day. So close on those.
I'm surprised they're not taking another look at this gate. Maybe they are. Caroline.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, pretty close.
That was close.
I know, and I think Jimmy needs some sugar. He's been kind of a little bit rough around the edges today, sending Bas van Steenbergen in the 1.5.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he might get Caroline for this one.
Yeah, he's been a stickler today, that Jimmy. I don't know, man. It's pretty similar to what we saw from Bas. There he is.
It felt like it went around. And then my
Well, it's definitely not over for Caroline Buchanan. We saw her with a mistake playing catch up and pulling out the fastest women's run of the day. She's going to be battling a 1.5 coming up in the next one. So,
man,
it is possible. It is possible.
This is really going to shake things up. Caroline's conversation with Jimmy, what seems to be the problem, officer? Jimmy's saying, well, yeah, the problem is you missed the gate. You're going to have a 1.5 second differential to make up. Jordy Scott scoring on this right here. They're sitting second and third in the Queen standings right now. Jordy with 442 points, Caroline with 345.
I think it's that bottom left box is what happened right there. In the examples.
Ouch! The 1.5 for Caroline. Take a look back up at the top. Cassie Voicey and your #2 qualifier, Sabina Kosarkova.
She's got to be smelling blood in the water right now.
Run one here, the semifinals matchup.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Sabina getting that hole shot, 1.3 advantage. Cassie Voicy's gonna be playing catch up. That's how you get through that on-off box section. Completely smooth. Launching in and out of that shark fin. Gapping down into these S-turns, pumping them for everything that they have. Sabina Kosakorva is accelerating, barely gets around.
You know what I was thinking about in the middle of that run? And I don't want to jinx her. I'll knock on this desk. Happens to be wood. Have we seen any mistakes out of Sabina in any of the disciplines she's competed in? Do any come to mind?
You know, I wouldn't even call them mistakes, maybe mishaps. I've seen her deal with adversity, but not let it affect her runs.
So incredibly consistent. She won the pump track last night. She won the full tilt earlier in the day yesterday. She's the #2 qualifier out here, and she's looking locked in. And she puts the advantage over Cassie Voicy there. Let's focus our attention back here to the men. Ryan Gilchrist and Tegan Cruz, Jackson Frew and Bailey Mears. Ready to drop them for their run #1, these semifinal matchups.
This will be Ryan Gilchrist and Tegan Cruz. Remember, Tegan Cruz is significantly faster on this bottom section than all the other riders he's raced against, but he's going against our fastest qualifier and reigning king, Ryan Gilchrist.
And a guy who really wants to take a win here this weekend.
Oh, I can feel it in there how bad he wants it. Solid gate right there out of Ryan Gilchrist. Gets that hole shot. Tegan Cruz playing catch up, which we've been seeing him do throughout the brackets. It's gonna be a tall order to make up any time on Ryan Gilchrist right here. Oh, Gilchrist goes long!
Whoa, what in the world?
I was just thinking the only thing that could give Tegan Cruz the advantage was Gilchrist forced into a mistake.
To think that we've seen some crazy, uncharacteristic errors this season from Ryan Gilchrist, and he's still leading the king standings by 212 points. It just reminded me of that error we saw in pump track in New Zealand. Obviously the flat tire in full tilt yesterday. Gilly actually might not be feeling very well. He popped up quick, but look at his body language now.
That was a big slam, a hard hit to the shoulder.
Oh man, it just goes to show how much of a competitor it is, though. He didn't even take inventory on his body before he got up, and he was thinking, all right, I need to cross before that 1.5 ticks across the clock.
We were getting into the lower section of the course where Tegan Cruz has been so fast, and I think that pressure really pushed Gilchrist. He knew he could not let up, and right here, he goes a little bit further than he had. Let's see what happens right here. Gets slightly off rhythm right there. Look at just the speed carried him all the way over the landing into the turn.
Let's see which shoulder.
Oh, the straight arm elbow and shoulder.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot of leverage pulling that shoulder the wrong way.
I don't even know if that was the arm he was holding, though.
That nose block, that's his plan. He just went, I mean, a quarter of a bike length too long. Ooh.
I didn't look at that one.
I mean,
I didn't want to watch.
I did, and that's why I said oof.
I didn't want to watch.
Left shoulder. Oh, man.
Yeah, somehow it wasn't even, yeah, it was the shoulder that we saw kind of get pulled back there. Man, so Tegan Cruz not the way he wants to win right there. Tegan Cruz, he flew off course as well.
Yeah, looking forward to catching another glimpse here of Gilly. There we go. The medics taking a look, taking inventory of what may be going on here with the body of Ryan Gilchrist after that crazy crash. I thought he was good because he popped up so quick, but that just goes to show how much determination exists in this competitor.
Yeah, he didn't even stop. He was up before he stopped.
Man, we have seen him hit the ground hard a few times the past few years. Remember that wild crash? Final straightaway Whistler Slalom, and he popped right back up and went for it. So you know he's the type of rider who, if, you know, at all possible, he's going to keep riding. So the fact that he's sitting down right now and, you know, getting tended to by the medics, we haven't really seen that from Ryan Gilchrist. Man, he's holding his wrist now.
So it's his left wrist there, maybe elbow as well. We saw it kind of torque backwards. Yeah, unfortunate there for Gilchrist. You know, it's part of the game.
Jeez, especially when you're packing so much in like Ryan Gilchrist. The Reigning and defending king of Crankworx, current points leader, tough to see. Also just, Crankworx isn't the only thing on his schedule this year either.
Back up to the top. We got Jackson Frew and Bailey Mears locking in the gate right here.
So Jackson Frew in the gate now, the number 3 qualifiers, lining up against Bailey Mears. We talked to him a little bit on that headset interview. He's already had a great weekend, getting that monkey off of his back, getting a downhill win. Let's take a look back at how he made it happen. He was the number 2 qualifier. Ryan Gilchrist was up at the top of the course, wanting to answer back after Jackson dropped this heater of a run. And it was enough. Ryan Gilchrist wasn't able to better the time, and you could just see how excited Jackson Frew was to finally get a downhill win. And we talked to him earlier about what that does to his confidence coming into an event he's found plenty of success in here. Specialized dual slalom. Run number 1 here between Frew and Mears. Your number 3 and number 2 qualifier. Statistically speaking, we'd call Jackson the underdog here based on seeding results. Let's see if Bailey Mears can hold on. Sounds like a little bit of a course hold here. We've seen this throughout the week when we see a rider go down. Sometimes you get the Flux Trail Crew on course to replace some divots, make sure it's safe and smooth for the next riders who are going to drop in. What are we feeling right now? This is interesting weather. I'm feeling like really, really calm air. Almost warming up a little bit. It feels like thunderstorms kind of.
It feels like it's raining on the other side of the hill.
Yeah.
All right, cadence on. Both riders absolutely focused right here. Bailey Mears and Jackson Frew fighting for their race right here. Jackson Frew gets the whole shot. Did you see that move? Accelerating down that double pump step down through these turns. This is where he's gonna have to modulate his speed, make sure he doesn't make that mistake. Catches the turn, absolutely perfect. Jackson Frew and Bailey Mears. Bailey Mears drifting around the turn.
Jackson through the line first by .351.
So Jackson Frew unseating our number 2 qualifier right there. That means our number 1 and number 2 qualifiers are no longer racing here tonight. The door is blown wide open. You know Jackson Frew would like to get those points.
A look at our women's bracket right now. Jordy Scott with that 1.5 advantage over Caroline Buchanan. Remind yourselves that Caroline Buchanan missed the gate. It would have been a really tight matchup in run number 2 if she hadn't missed that gate. And then Sabina Kosarkova, a little bit of a tighter matchup there, .603. Sabina looking flawless all week. Can she hold on and punch her ticket into that gold medal matchup? A lot of work to do here for Caroline, unfortunately missing that gate in run 1.
How should a rider approach run 2 if they are behind? You gotta send it. I don't think you can expect a rider of Jordy Scott's caliber to make any sort of mistakes. Number 1 right there, full send. There we go, it switched.
Yep.
That's exactly what I would suggest.
This is a trick question right here. I'll give you a really obvious one just to make sure you're paying attention. All right, full send is what Caroline Buchanan is going to have to do right here. Needs to make up the max differential of 1.5. A short course like this, oof, it's tough to make that up unless your competitor makes another mistake, just like you did.
It's about 2 gates advantage down at the bottom she's gonna need before she crosses the finish line.
Jordy, eyes locked on that timing light.
Caroline snaps down, gets the whole shot. First mission accomplished, but Jordy Scott actually being able to pull up alongside and gain a little bit of time right there. Caroline Buchanan's gonna rock it out of the shark fin and really have to send it. She's gaining some advantage right here, compresses into that on-off, but Jordy Scott is just staying right behind her, doing exactly what she needs, not letting her out of her sights, keeping it under control, doing what she needs to do to lock a ticket into that gold medal matchup.
Jordy's got smart, consistent racing, advancing into the gold medal matchup, sending Caroline Buchanan to the bronze medal matchup. All right, who will join Jordy and battle it out for gold? Who will join Caroline and battle it out for bronze? Sabina Kosarkova with the advantage of .603 over Cassie Voicey. Sabina so consistent all week, taking 2 golds already.
Okay, riders, random start.
Making her presence known with authority, Sabina Kosarkova. Getting the whole shot right here. Cassie Voicey's gonna really have to let it fly. Leave nothing on the course right here. Maybe even need a mistake out of Sabina, which we haven't seen. Really smooth. Oh, maybe a little bit off rhythm there. Able to recover. Didn't have the explosion we saw out of Gilchrist. Tiptoeing around these bottom turns.
And such smart, smooth, calculated riding from Sabina Kosarkova. She will join Jordy Scott in the gold medal matchup.
Look at Sabina, she's so stoked, man. She's always having so much fun. Big smiles at the bottom of every single run. It's always fun to do good, but I always get the sense she's really enjoying her time out there on the bike.
Yeah, she would enjoy a 3rd gold medal as well. Opportunity is alive and well. Yeah, Sabina Kosarkova guaranteed at least a silver here, which would add to her medal count for the week. Caroline Buchanan and Cassie Voicey will battle it out for the bronze. Jordy Scott just 18 points behind Sabina in the Queen standings. And here they are, side by side. Love to see that. We always talk about dual slalom as such an important discipline for that king and queen of Crankworx overall. Got 1, 2, and 3 in the Queen standings right now, still alive. The Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns. Cairns, mate.
Got me. Startled me.
Melbourne. Cairns, mate.
Is that your best Australian accent?
Don't say Melbourne. They don't like that. Oh, look at this. We got a view of Gilchrist. Oh, don't like to see that. Gilly wrapped up in a sling there. Yeah.
So Tegan's gonna get a bye run due to Gilchrist's unfortunate injury.
I'm not sure if I even want to watch this again. We know that it resulted in substantial injury there for Gilly. Great to see him walking out of the venue, but bummer to see that he's going to be dealing with an injury. But we could tell that it was going to be something substantial just based on how there were 3 joints looking like they were bending in directions they're not supposed to bend. Take a look at this left arm there. Oh, yeah, we've seen a broken wrist in this bottom section of the slalom a couple years ago as well. Ah, man.
I looked away and accidentally looked right at the Jumbotron behind me and still saw it.
Yeah, you can't escape it. Ah, man, such a tough competitor though. You know he's going to grind super hard, and whatever he is facing now with rehabilitation, looks like a injured wrist for Ryan Gilchrist. Tegan Cruz, a bye lap. He will be in the gold medal matchup.
Tegan Cruz, have you seen that something special that I've been talking about in this bottom section I had to Tegan Cruz? Is there anything that you have pinpointed that might be giving him that?
Just precision, man. He's strong in those berms. A lot of G-forces, eyes up.
Those bottom S turns that are bringing him in to the flat corners, he gets his front tire above the ruts. And he's using that to his advantage. He's not only using that to stay smooth and get above the ruts, but he's squaring off those bottom turns and getting a straighter line while increasing his momentum off of that bottom berm. That's what I'm seeing.
I like it. It's easier said than done to line up above those ruts. There's a reason those ruts collect in one area. That's the easiest place to ride and generate speed. And you risk a lot by trying to thread the needle and ride above those.
Yeah, a little bit of magic getting sprinkled at the bottom of the course out of Tegan Cruz.
All that downhill experience from Tegan Cruz playing part here in the success in dual slalom. So Tegan Cruz into the gold medal matchup. Who will join him? Will it be Jackson Frew or Bailey Mears? Jackson Frew with a .351 advantage over Mears.
Okay, riders, random start.
Jackson Frew having a great week out here in Cairns. Would love to top it off with a medal here. He's gonna lay it all down on the course. Bailey Mears getting the whole shot. He knows that his future to move on is right here, now or never. Pulling out at least a bike length on Jackson Frew, but down here, this is where Jackson has been just pinpoint precise, lining up and getting through these bottom turns. Let's see what he can do.
Oh, what was the differential? It was .351 in favor of Jackson Frew. Jackson does it. Jackson into the gold medal matchup.
Not doing 1 ounce more than he needed to do. So smooth, so precise. Jackson Frew moving on.
It'll be Jackson Frew and Tegan Cruz battling it out for the final gold medal of this second stop of the 2025 Crankworx World Tour here at Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns. I noticed that Jackson Frew is basically riding off of the rider's right side of that cannon log, basically just trying to figure out a way of hitting it as fast as he's hitting it and still touch the landing.
I think he's trying to go through it.
Can't go over it, can't go under it, must go through it.
Both riders clean through those bottom flags. So much speed he couldn't even stop.
Jimmy's got his arms crossed. Whose day is he trying to ruin now? I'm just messing with you, Jimmy.
We gotta get Jimmy some cop glasses.
Dude just draws it off like a cop. Like a big flashlight too. He just comes up pointing it in their eyes. Look at this guy showing off his muscles. That's a first in the finish corral. Did he kiss it too?
Respect the pythons, Cam, respect the pythons. We are in the rainforest.
We heard such exciting news about the trail expansion here at Smithfield Mountain Bike Park. They're gonna triple the amount of trails here. They're gonna break ground and start expanding the network, hoping to have all those trails done by 2028. What a great spot to come, whether you're mountain biking or not, but I highly recommend bringing your mountain bike. Take a look at all the things you can do here. Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns business end of this competition. We've got our medal rounds established. Tegan Cruz, Jackson Frew will battle for the gold for the men. Jordy Scott, Sabina Kosarkova. I mean, this is exactly what you hope for when you're following all the storylines we have, such as the Queen of Crankworx and the Slalom Series overalls. First, the bronze medal matchup between Caroline Buchanan, the 2022 and 23 Queen of Crankworx, and Cassie Boise, run number 1 coming up here. Who will have the advantage? Caroline's going to take extra care not to miss a gate down there at the bottom, because we know Officer Jimmy is watching everything.
Like a hawk.
Like an angry hawk.
Okay, riders, random start.
Cassie Boise, second place last year here. She's got the opportunity to get a bronze medal, but she's gonna have to get through Caroline Buchanan, who slams the gate down. It's a gigantic hole shot, building that advantage. Coming through Cassie Boise. She's not gone yet. She's definitely pushing all the way to the finish, pulling right alongside. This is where we saw Caroline have some issues a couple of rounds ago, so she's gonna wanna be pinpoint perfect. Keep this momentum going. exactly what she does.
Caroline not missing a gate this time and not missing the opportunity to get ahead of the game here in the bronze medal matchup, putting a .318 advantage on Cassie Boyce.
Section. It was like so dark. Coming into that on on.
There's that gate snap. Caroline Buchanan talking about maybe it's getting a little dark up there coming out of the rainforest. Wasn't too dark for her. She saw the finish line and charged all the way to it. Cassie Boyce right here was able to gain a little bit of momentum. And it looked like maybe right here coming out of the shark fin, Caroline Buchanan saw her out of the corner of her eye and dropped the hammer. Was definitely careful and made sure she made no mistakes in these flat bottom turns, getting around all the gates. Coming out with that advantage in round one here in the bronze medal matchup.
There we go. Learning from that mistake in the previous round, Caroline Buchanan staying on the correct side of those gates, putting a .318 advantage. Cassie Boyce. Well, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to have kind of an obvious bronze medal winner here for the men.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gilchrist going down with that injury. Sometimes those things happen at the right time. You know, he's going to get a little bit of time off. He's going to be able to reset. The kid has been going nonstop, living the northern and southern hemisphere seasons for multiple years straight now.
Yeah, when you're living that endless summer race schedule,
Random start.
you do not get a break unless it's a forced break.
Riders ready. Watch the gate.
We've seen Bailey Mears a lot this week, so he's going to be stoked to be leaving with some hardware. He's going to give us a little bit of a show right here. Steesman.
All right. Bailey Mears securing that bronze medal there. Go through the formality of dropping him for both of these runs here.
Ripping around the tires on the bike, my friend.
And now there's no burn left for our gold medal matchups. Hey, let's get this guy into slope style. Is that a three whip? He is so stoked. Mears, that #2 qualifier. When you qualify second, you go, oh man, can I end up on the podium? But it's still such a long road to get there. And here it is. Run one of the gold medal matchup for the women. Jordy Scott, left side of your screen. Sabina Kosarkova. She's taken 2 golds already this weekend. She would love to pull the hat trick, make it 3.
Jordy Scott, only our 5th place qualifier, but that's how she does this. We've seen her do that time and time again. We'll almost write her off due to that qualifying time, but she is so smart and methodical with how she approaches these races, building each and every run. She definitely has what it can take.
Random start.
Jordy Scott, the defending champ here at Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns, took the gold medal last year. Only 18 points back behind her competitor here. She's gearing up against her, Sabina Kosarkova.
So Jordy Scott has gone into full throttle mode right here, getting the whole shot, but Sabina Kosarkova extending that lead down into this lower section as we come out into the fan section. But here comes Jordy Scott. Don't count her out. She's railing those turns into these flat bottoms. She's so strong through there. Keeping it tight with a .431.
Oh, this is going to be a good run, too.
Sabina can taste victory right there, getting the fastest time of the day when she needed it. We are now in the gold medal rounds.
She is so consistent. It is nuts.
Just the racecraft coming out of Sabina right here. Being able to stay calm, seeing Jordy Scott get that pole shot coming down the backside. This is where she really let it loose. Not missing a step right there through the on-off and rhythm, pumping every opportunity she can to create momentum through this track. Jordy Scott right here was able to pull up right alongside and start to put on some pressure. was strong through the bottom turns, but not strong enough.
It's tight though, that's a pretty small margin there that Jordy Scott will have to make up. But don't bank on Sabina Kosarkova making a mistake. If what we've seen so far is any indication, well, I mean, I'm doing a little math, which I would say wear your protective gear anytime I'm doing any math, but with Jordy Scott 18 points behind Sabina Kosarkova in the Queen of Crankworx overall standings, I'm gonna say if she makes up this differential right now and she's able to take the win, she'll earn 20 points more than Sabina, and she will be 2 points in the lead, which would be really exciting coming into the final stop of Whistler here.
Yeah, as if there wasn't enough on the line in this next run.
Jordy Scott is such a veteran, and she will be poised and prepared to perform under pressure there in the final run for the women. But it's time for run number 1 of the gold medal matchup for the men. Tegan Cruz and Jackson Frew.
I feel like we haven't seen a full tilt run, full throttle run out of Jackson Frew yet, but he's gonna have to absolutely send it here. Tegan Cruz so strong towards the bottom of the course, using his downhill skills.
So what you're saying is you feel like Jackson Frew's got some more in the tank here to peak when it counts.
I think he's gonna let us know what he's got right here. Gets the whole shot, 1.3 advantage. Tegan Cruz pulling right alongside, so that's dangerous if Tegan Cruz has an advantage at this point of the course, because this is where he's really been strong. Coming in and out of these bottom turns. Let's see if he can square it up. Getting into these flat turns, he gets high. There he does, he rockets out and does exactly what we've been seeing him do all day long.
Tegan through the line first by a quarter of a second. Wow. Look at that, that's the second fastest time of the day there. Gilly still holding down the fort with the fastest time of the day. But Tegan Cruz will have the advantage. How about it?
He absolutely will. So strong on the bottom of the section of the course. No one else is able to unravel that quite like Tegan Cruz has. Gapping off all the way over and catching that early pump. And watch how he gets above these ruts. See if he gets this line perfect right there. Front tire up high, coming in this turn right here. He gets up high and rockets out, squares up that turn, and he's accelerating all the way to the finish. No tiptoeing out of Tegan Cruz down there at the bottom.
It'll be a drag race in the final matchup for the men, for sure, with just a quarter of a second separating these two. Advantage going to Tegan Cruz.
That more slack head tube angle out of Tegan Cruz might have got him a 0.2 of a second right there. Lunging across the finish line.
There we go. Just a couple runs left to go here until we gave away our final batch of hardware for Crankworx Cairns 2025. Tegan Cruz with the advantage of 0.25 over Jackson Frew. Bailey Mears taking that bronze medal, wrapping it up, unfortunately, due to the fact that we sent Ryan Gilchrist out of the venue with a splint on his wrist. We definitely don't like to see that. Best wishes going out to Ryan Gilchrist. Congratulations to Bailey Mears on that bronze medal, but the gold medal up for grabs between Cruz and Frew. I've been talking about it as we've been seeing visuals of all these amazing activities you can do out here at far north Queensland, Cairns, Australia. We've been sending our riders out for so many activities, and it's so fun to watch them enjoying their time here. Take a look at the mashup of all the fun the riders have been having.
I look like a fish. I feel like a fish.
Ain't no way.
3, 2, 1. Oh, no way. Oh my God, someone help me.
It's a rock. First time eating kangaroo, and I have to say they are quite cute, but they taste even better, so.
It was epic. I mean, I've lived in Australia my whole life, and I haven't seen half the fish and stuff I've seen out there, so it was a super cool experience, and just being up here in North Queensland is always just super unique.
Tell me when.
So I just need you to let go of the towel first.
3, 2, 1, let's
Got a little wet one for a swim. Hugie.
I would recommend, if you guys are down here, I think you gotta hit
Set it up.
Well, my favorite is like, there's so many things here that you can do that you can't do anywhere else in the world, and stuff like trying kangaroo or deep sea fishing. If you've never done that before, you can reel up some stuff that you're not gonna find up there in our oceans.
Yeah, we're definitely in a special part of the world right here in Cairns.
So, bronze medal matchup here between Cassie Boise and Caroline Buchanan. Caroline has the advantage. If I remember correctly, it was a .318. Cassie Boise with some work to do. Queen of Crankworx points on the line here. Caroline Buchanan sitting in third place in the overall right now. Also, Slalom Series up for grabs. Caroline winning the first stop in New Zealand. She is the leader of the series. Looking for those points here.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Nice rear angle of the start right there. Caroline Buchanan getting that whole shot. Such a strong start. Gapping in, on, off, pumping down, getting a pedal in before the log right there. Looking really smooth, pulling up, gapping off, carving where she needs to. She's got Cassie right where she needs her, right behind her, keeping it smooth, getting around, and locks in that bronze medal.
Caroline Buchanan does it. Crosses that finish line first. Considering she had the advantage coming into this, securing that bronze medal there, Caroline Buchanan. Those valuable points for the Queen standings and the Pump Track Series overall.
Yeah, nice job out of Caroline, able to regroup after missing that gate and getting knocked out. Looking super clean right there. At the bottom is where we saw her have troubles in the earlier rounds. Looking perfect in this second bronze medal matchup round.
Caroline going home with some hardware out here. You picked up the silver medal last night in pump track. Here you go, you just secured the bronze in dual slalom. You won the slalom at first stop in New Zealand on a big long travel bike. You opted for the hardtail here. Walk me through your decision to do that.
Yeah, so I dialed in the Ticket S today, which is the Julie. Yeah, I felt super comfortable. I've won here before. I qualified P1, I was like absolutely on it. I think that bye against Martha and sitting out, a little bit too much of a break, and yeah, I can't believe how I held on through that moto rhythm. I manualed the wrong one, gapped into the face of the next. Don't know how I fought back, got DQ'd, and I mean, that's racing, and I just said to myself, stay in there, fight for that podium, and never give up. It's racing, you never know what can happen, so
no, for
stoked.
Sure. Tons happened, and you kept your head on straight, and you know, with the Queen of Crankworx standings at play and the slalom overall at play, you know, you did a great job of maintaining some of those points. How excited are you to watch this gold medal matchup between Jordy and Sabina?
I'm super excited. I think Sabina's got a great future in the Queen and the overall. For me, I'm just having fun this year. I've won 2 years before. I'm not chasing everything. I'm just trying to like hit my marks and get on those podiums. So yeah, second, and a third in the last 48 hours. I'm stoked.
Having fun and finding success. You got to be stoked. Congratulations, Caroline.
Cheers. Thanks, Cairns.
Well, she said it again, doubling down on the idea that Sabina's got a big future here in the Crankworx World Tour when it comes to the Queen standings. She's leading the charge right now, just 18 points ahead of her competitor. Alongside her right now in this gold medal matchup final run. If Jordy is able to claw her way out from underneath this .431 disadvantage, she will be 2 points ahead in the Queen standings. So a lot of pressure here on Jordy Scott, but she's a veteran, and she is going to do everything she can here to take this gold medal. Can Sabina Kosarkova make it 3 gold medals here in Cairns?
Just under half a second to make up for Jordy Scott. Sabina is gonna make it really hard. Starts out right there with the whole shot. Jordy Scott looking strong, getting pedals in there before the plank. Jumping in, jumping out. Sabina is looking so clean. Coming out of this S-turn section right here, Jordy Scott's gonna have to just let it fly, but too much. Look at the emotion. Unbelievable week here. Looking up at the top of this final matchup. She knew it was all on the line, and Jordy Scott, an absolute veteran, knowing how to play this game like no one else. It wasn't over, and Sabina knew that. She knew she had to be perfect. Look at that on-off. Catching that back tire on that roller. That's accelerating through these planks right here. Jordy Scott grabbing a pedal, not wanting to leave anything left on that course. Fans really stoked here going in this gold medal matchup. You can see the BMX right there, so quick, manualing in and out, pumping. And then this, something she's not used to, gravel flat turns, but looks like she's got it figured out. We're gonna throw it down to Cam. He's there with an interview.
Sabina Kosarkova. Test, test. Sabina Kosarkova, when you landed on your flight in here to Cairns, Australia, did you think there's any chance you would be getting on your flight back home with 3 gold medals?
No, I didn't really think about it, and it's just like, feels like a dream.
It's gotta feel like a dream. I can feel the energy coming off you. I feel like I'm getting goosebumps. I gotta know, which of those 3 gold medals was the hardest to win?
I think today, the Euro Slalom, I don't really know how to do corners, so I was a bit struggling. But when I put some fastest time, I was like, oh my God, it's really good. And every time, every lap, I was like getting faster. So, and yeah, we were pretty all the girls tired, so today was the difficult one.
What is it like seeing so many riders miss gates, and considering the fact that flat corners is something you're not that accustomed to?
I don't know, I just like, it's completely different than I'm used to in BMX. We have one big corner, and here it's like, you gotta be focused and you gotta know when to pedal, when to start. So yeah, I guess I'm learning every race and I'm pretty stoked about it.
Well, it's time to learn what it feels like to bask in the glory of 3 gold medals. Hey, Cairns, let's hear it for your gold medal winner here in the Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns, Sabina Kosarkova!
So amazing to see her come out. It was only earlier this year she did her first race on a mountain bike in Christchurch at the Summer Series event, walking away with a gold medal there, springboarding her straight into what I would consider a Crankworx threat for that queen.
Insane, Alan, insane. What do you say?
Oh, we're not done.
We give away another gold medal. Run number 1 for the men coming up. Jackson Frew versus Tegan Cruz. Tegan with the advantage of 0.25 ahead of Jackson Frew. This is going to be insane.
Tegan Cruz looking to be the disruptor right here. He does have the advantage over Jackson Frew. Number 3 and number 4 qualifiers making their way all the way into the gold medal matchup. 0.250, only a quarter second advantage for Tegan Cruz. Let's see if he can link that bottom section up again and walk away with a gold medal today. Gate comes down, Jackson Frew with a perfect start right there. Tegan Cruz knows he's got this bottom section on lock, but will it be enough right now? They come side by side right there. Tegan Cruz rockets out of those turns, pulls up, jumps in, pumps in through. Let's see if he can do it. Oh, gets a little front end high right there, but he gets back into play. Did you see him rail those turns?
Tegan Cruz is going to do it. Jackson Frew crossing the line first, but it's not going to be enough. Tegan Cruz grabbing the gold medal. Wow!
How does he do it? His body did not even move in those last 2 berm turns. He was able to accelerate, increase his momentum, getting that front tire high, squaring up that bottom left-hand turn, and just making a straight shot through to the finish line. Jackson Frew here getting the start. Tegan Cruz knowing that it's not where his strong suit was. He hasn't got the whole shot in almost every single matchup he's had today, but he's been so unbelievably strong. He's got this creative line and aggression through these last couple of berm turns. We see him there scrubbing off the side of the plank. Watch how his tires get high in these bottom berms. Look at his body staying so parallel to the ground, just looking where he needs to go, and accelerates about a tire length ahead. And Jackson Frew was able to rocket through those flat turns and gain about half of that back, but not enough. And Cam is down here with our winner.
Tegan Cruz, come on, my man. Look at this. This is a moment you're going to remember your entire life right here. What's it like to get your first Crankworx gold medal here at Crankworx Cairns Slalom?
Oh, it's amazing. I've been racing Crankworx since I was a little kid, and the whole community here in Cairns has been amazing, and yeah, so happy.
You had big success in the junior categories on the Crankworx World Tour, but finding a gold medal here in dual slalom, did you think this would be the discipline where you would grab some hardware?
Slalom's always been one of my favorite disciplines to ride, and racing Jackson Frew, it's awesome. He's one of the best there is at this, and yeah, it was a great race.
Jackson made you earn it, and you did exactly that. Hey, Cairns, let's make some noise for your winner of the Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns, Tegan Cruz!
So stoked for Tegan Cruz right here. He was able to make it happen. Such an amazing event right here. Getting congratulations from everybody. Gotta watch out with a guy like Tegan Cruz getting some hardware around his neck. That's momentum that could really show itself in every single one of these disciplines that we have here at the Crankworx World Tour.
What a kid right there, man. What a performance. Tegan Cruz taking the gold medal. Jackson Frew made him earn that. Man, oh man, that was tight racing, Alan.
I mean, I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Imagine how they feel, right?
What a day. So much action. Starting off with slopestyle and finishing off with dual slalom. I always say it's amazing to start an event with head-to-head racing, but to end it, man, that was exciting.
You know, and it's fun, too, to be able to give somebody their first gold medal and just be able to feel that energy of them realizing they have what it takes. And it's going to be so exciting to see what Tegan Cruz does with that confidence. It's going to be fun to see what Sabina Kosarkova does with the confidence of not one, but 3 gold medals. We got some big celebrations going to take place tonight for all of our champions out here this week, but also we've got another winner amongst you viewers out there. We mentioned at the beginning of the show, we're going to be giving away some Darko products, an ultraviolet jersey, some gloves, and some unreleased pads. The Gravity knee pads and the short sleeve body armor. We made you jump through a couple hoops to be able to win that, and we have our winner figured out here. I think it's on my phone. Let's see who won.
I think it was at Alien Davies.
Ellie Davis, congratulations. You won yourself a care package courtesy of Darko Clothing. And you're going to have a souvenir, even though you're not here, to commemorate an absolutely insane Crankworx Cairns 2025. Considering that was our last event of the festival, we're going to have to just look at these King and Queen of Crankworx overall standings and see what the story is. Sabina Kosarkova rocket shipping her lead there. 560 points, but Jordy Scott playing really good defense. She's right there breathing down her neck.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we move the tour on to Crankworx, more events, more downhills, more points. It's anybody's game in that top 5 right there.
Well, for the men, Gilly coming into this had a 212-point advantage. Obviously, Gilly, great performance out there, getting 4th place points, but unfortunately leaving injured. He's still at the top, but for how long? What will the story be with Gilly trying to come back from whatever the injury is? We saw him sustain here. Jackson Frew, 2nd place. And Tegan Cruz, how about that? Tegan Cruz, 3rd in the overall King of Crankworx leaderboard. Can't wait to put that guy on home soil in Whistler here in just a matter of a few months, Alan. Holy cow, what an event.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to get out to Whistler. I think I'm already there in my heart. I cannot wait to see this all come together there.
We are through the 2nd of 3 stops on this 2025 Crankworx World Tour. What a whirlwind it has been. It's been 4 broadcasts in 2 days. A lot to digest as we focus our attention to Crankworx Whistler to cap off the 2025 season. I gotta thank you for joining us here in Cairns, and we can't wait to see you in Whistler. Good night.
smoking. Pull up in a Penting, futuristic whip. True draw in a blue lightsaber. Thrown with the force, high count with the Clovian. You better man talking facts. Positive thinking, right around tracks. You better man shining.